Welcome to the Bird Show right here on the Bird Garden YouTube channel. This video was filmed on November the 29th, Sunday morning, and we had a weather system moving in, as you can tell by the information from AccuWeather and the ticker at the bottom of the screen. And it was mayhem all morning long, including a couple of key players that dropped in. Birds that hadn't visited the feeder before appear in this video. And at the end, there's a very surprising ending to this video. Hang around till then. You'll see what I mean. Probably we're going to have to do a follow-up video to fully explain what happened there. But you can already see the activity is relatively busy, not uncommon for this time of morning. It was 9:14 a.m. That's a 24-hour clock. So we know it was in the a.m. Upper right-hand corner of the screen, we see it's 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Cooler temperatures compared to earlier in the week and last week. And the birds seem to sense that there is a weather system moving in, and they are especially active. We got the eastern bluebird there on the screen, and it's a resident. Sometimes we'll see that guy more often in the spring and summer, but there's several that hang around for the winter and don't migrate out of the area. Right now, the platform feeder is loaded up with goldfinches. Those are the ones with the black wings and the prominent white wing bars, although they're not so yellow right now. Now they look like just another little brown job, or LBJ, we bird watchers say. That's because they're in their winter plumage. Those guys with the stark black wings are males, and they will be lemon yellow come spring. They're also accompanied by a host of house finches. Those are the little sparrow-looking birds with the short triangular beaks. Also very brown, streaky on the chest and back, and a little bit of red, pinkish red on the head. Or are they house finches? We're going to talk more about that in just a minute. In fact, they're not. There's a female eastern bluebird on the wooden cage feeder. That block of feed has seed and mealworms in it. So the bluebirds are one of the birds that come to eat the protein food offering at the feeding station. Those are dried mealworms with some seed. And you'll see some of the other birds enjoy that as well, including the woodpeckers. And there is the star of our thumbnail for this video, the northern cardinal male. What a striking guy. These birds are here year-round. I love to hear people refer to them as redbirds. That's how I was first introduced to them as a kid. It's just so practical. But the official common name is northern cardinal, and they are striking, stunning. We've had these guys here all summer. There's been a family at the feeding station from late summer until not long ago, and I'm not sure if a family group has moved a little south and this is a replacement group, or if the immature birds have matured. Easy to tell if it's an immature or an adult bird by looking at the beak. You see the cardinal beak is red. It is black in the immature, and then the black slowly fades away as the birds mature. I'm going to go ahead and give a reveal here. You see posing on the front edge of the platform feeder a finch-type bird that is very similar to the female house finch on the bowl feeder behind it. But you also notice before we change scenes there that it had a very heavy and bold white eye line, unlike the house finch. That's because it is, in fact, a female purple finch. Later in the video, you'll see the male appear. Brilliant male, beautiful guy. And you'll be able to tell the difference in a side-by-side comparison of the house finch and the very similar purple finch. Now, the purple finch is a northern boreal bird that sometimes doesn't even come down this far south. Some years we get them, some years we don't. Obviously, this year we got them. And today, 29th of November was the first day they've shown up at the platform feeder. Thankfully, we got it on camera. I was able to go back and capture the visit. There's a downy woodpecker male on the center suet feeder. There's a very frenetic tough titmouse. There he goes. That's the way they're hit and run. Those titmice come in, grab a piece of seed, and they go eat it somewhere else. The downy woodpecker can settle in sometimes and just consume that suet. Suet is like a rendered fat with seed and berries infused in it, high energy. On the bowl feeder, we see the Carolina chickadee, very strike, black and white head and face, gray on the back. There's the tufted titmice. I said titmice. I guess that's plural for titmouse. Not officially, but I use it. Yeah, so we've got the tufted titmouse, the Carolina chickadee. They're allies. You see them together a lot in the field. There's the northern cardinal posing right over the Bird Garden YouTube channel sticker on the front of the platform feeder. I'm talking very quickly because the inventory is just shifting so quickly. This is a frenetic pace. Again, I think it's weather related. I think not uncommon to get this type of pressure on this feeding station. The uncommon part is that it lasted for so long. This started before sunrise. We had birds just after 7 a.m. There's a downy woodpecker up on the cage feeder. But this feeding frenzy lasted for hours. Again, with a surprise ending just before 11 o'clock a.m. We're going to talk more about that as the video proceeds. And again, I think I'm going to do a follow-up video to the ending of this one. If so, I'll put a link in the description below this video. And also, if you will hover your cursor in the upper right-hand corner of the video, up there where the temperature is displayed, you should get an index card with a link to that next video on why this ending was so surprising. Now there you see the downy woodpecker feeding on the suet, northern cardinal female dropping in. Above the cardinal on the bowl feeder is a female house finch. Notice no bold eye line, no white streak above the eye. That's very noticeable. A streaked bird at the top of your screen could be either a female house finch or possibly a female purple finch. There's a male house finch. You see the reddish tint on the head. Somewhat confusing, but when the male purple finch drops in, the bird that was on just out of screen dropped in. In fact, it was a female house finch. So there's the male and the female house finch on the bowl feeder. Male and female cardinal on the platform feeder. Carolina chickadee joining the bowl feeder. Meanwhile, the female downy woodpecker wearing out that suet. We know that's a female downy woodpecker because there's no red spot on the back of the head. And there's the tufted titmouse on the right of the screen. Comes in, grabs a piece of seed, goes somewhere else to eat it. Very typical behavior. Downy woodpecker out. And I hope that there are some people that don't know how to identify these birds quickly. And this video serves as a learning moment. This is a great teaching tool. I learned things watching this feeding, especially the nuances between the species, getting a side-by-side in real time of a male goldfinch, a male house finch and a male purple finch. That was a learning moment for me. I'm a lifelong learner. If you know more about these birds than I do, please, by all means, leave a comment. I'd love to know something. If you're learning something, if you picked up a tip, let me know. Let me know what's good about this commentary on the Bird Show. The birds are the talent. Nature provides everything here. We just facilitate it, invite it in, and capture it on the camera. I've got an idea. How about you tell me the maximum number of birds you're able to count on the feeder at one time? If you're watching this, you're following along, what's the maximum bird count on the feeder? Put it in the comment below. Eastern bluebird, that's a male. Many times the males are more brilliantly colored than the females in the bird world. I suppose that's because it's best for a female to remain cryptic if she's sitting eggs in a nest or on a nest box. Oh, what was that? Did you see that? Let's watch that again. Oh, the northern mockingbird coming through for a cameo appearance. He doesn't usually land on the feeder, but he doesn't like to miss his opportunity to be on camera. That was so cool. All right, eastern bluebirds in and out of there, actively feeding on those mealworms. Now, there aren't mealworms on the platform feeder. If you see the birds eating from the platform feeder, that's different seed. That's lots of different seed mixtures. It is a wholeless seed mixture, no mess. So we don't have shells gathering under the feeder that could attract rodents, grow bacteria, things like that. Speaking of which, we do have a video coming up of an invasion of the feeding station. Oh, look, there's our male. Yes, there's our male purple finch in front and center of the platform feeder right now. And there were a couple of male house finches around him, and you could see the difference in that brilliance of the purplish. That's a misnomer. My wife tells me her mom said that's a raspberry color. See it there on the left of the platform feeder? That's the male purple finch, and he differs. There's a male house finch on top of the wooden cage feeder. Later in the video, you can see there they're getting closer. They will be side by side. Easy to tell the difference when they're side by side. When you see just one, especially the house finch, you wonder, could that be? But now you can tell the difference. On there is a red-bellied woodpecker coming in to eat. There's suet all over the place. Now he just knocked the seed off the pillar. Now he's going to get in that platform feeder because there are diced peanuts. Those woodpeckers love peanuts. So he's the king of he's got the biggest beak. So he's the king of the feeder right there. He comes back. Okay. On the left, you see that big white eyebrow on that bird. That is the female purple finch. It fooled me for a minute. I was flipping through the field guide. Could that be just a tiny little rose-breasted grosbeak with an eye line like that? I don't know. There's the male right beside the male house finch. So you can see the difference in the intensity and extent of that raspberry coloration. And we can tell that is definitely forked tail. You saw the purple finch's deeply forked tail. We just gather up all the clues and then decide what we've got. Between the two male finches is an American goldfinch. On the left is the northern cardinal. On the right, I'm going to call that a female house finch. Just doesn't have that prominent eye line. You can see a little eye line there. It's just not prominent. It's not striking. The male cardinal photograph that I used in the thumbnail, which is mind-blowing, I was able to get that photograph years ago while I was applying a band to the leg of that particular cardinal, collecting data for USGS to pass along to the bird lab. Banded that bird, collected data, released it unharmed, captured a cell phone photograph while the bird was in the hand, and that's how we have that beautiful photograph. Look at that. Look at all the red in the undertail coverts on that cardinal. It's red all over. And there's the female northern cardinal. Oh, what is that? Those appear to be brown-headed cowbird juveniles. The beak isn't long enough to be one of the blackbirds. It's shorter, more triangular. And I have to say it's a beautiful bird, but man, it gets on my nerves with its parasitic nesting habits, kicking the eggs out of tiny warbler nests and then leaving a baby 3 times the parent size to raise. That's a lot of energy. Come on, guys. Oh, there's on top of the bowl feeders, we have the Carolina chickadee back and a couple of American goldfinches in the platform feeder, the cardinal leaving a second Carolina chickadee, which very similar to the black-capped chickadee. The black-capped chickadee will have more white in the wings and the primary wing feathers you can see along the side when they're folded there. This guy showing you a little bit of white. The black-capped chickadee will have considerably more white. Best way to tell. And we do get those occasionally. They'll come through, and around these mountains at higher elevations, we can encounter a black-capped chickadee. Well, here at the feeder, there's your side-by-side. Purple finch on the left, male house finch on the right. That purple finch just glowing with that raspberry pinkish red color. The male house finch has some color, but in comparison, much less color, much less extensive color. There comes the male cardinal to oversee things. He drops down and has beak dominance, so the other birds yield to him, no problem. You look at the time now, it's 10:16. So this has been going on now since, again, just after 7 o'clock. So this feeding station is under this type of pressure now for about 3 hours, and there's no relief in sight. The titmice are piling up now. There are 3 female purple finches Yeah, I think that third one is a purple finch. Couple of titmice, couple of Carolina chickadees. There's the female downy woodpecker. She's going to get a starring role in this video later. Stay tuned. The female cardinal just feeding at leisure. It's as if these birds are bulking up. They know, they can sense this weather is coming, and they need to get their fill. So this was recorded on Sunday. This weather is scheduled for Monday night. I'm recording this Monday morning, and I can tell you the feeding station, even though it is raining now, is getting pounded again. The activity at that feeding station is unreal. There we have the American goldfinches piling up, and there is the white-crowned sparrow with a female purple finch on the left. And more American goldfinches, and the white-crowned sparrow still on the platform feeder on the right side. There's our male purple finch. Oh, the white-crowned sparrow said, "Get out of here, purple finch." So we saw a little bit of dominance there. A couple of male cardinals on the platform feeder at the same time. Purple finch front and center. Oh, I like when they get right in the center of that platform feeder over the bird garden sticker. I think screen capture. Yeah, that's a great portrait. And there's our female downy woodpecker back. And we're getting a stack of house finches. A couple of male cardinals still hanging out. And Carolina chickadee over there at the, you got to keep eye on that guy. They sometimes go inside that cage feeder. And there, it's fine. Those the screen is wide enough; they get in and out with ease. That's the purple finch on top of the cage feeder right now. Male purple finch. He's dropping down. Lots of red and pink on that platform feeder right now. A touch of yellow. One of the reasons I really enjoy watching the birds, all the color. So much creativity and diversity. And that's several different species getting along, cooperating. Hey, it's going to be weather for all of us. Can we get along here for a minute and everybody get something to eat? Sure we can. And they do. Looks like they're going to get through this system just fine. Couple of female northern cardinals right now, and a titmouse joining the house finches. Lots of frenetic activity. These birds don't hold still. They're very cautious, very defensive. They're wild. And there's the chickadee inside the cage feeder. He's gone inside the cage feeder to get his fill. What a great strategy. And there he goes. He's fine. And here comes a male house finch on top of the suet feeder. Okay. So yeah, these birds, there is the female downy woodpecker. Now, I mentioned that the pace of these birds is frenetic. They're fast. You can see in the platform feeder now on the right-hand side is a female purple finch. You can tell by now by that prominent white eye line. So this woodpecker on the left, you got to keep an eye on her. This downy woodpecker, she is just busy feeding, as is the titmouse that dropped in, picked up a piece of seed, and is out of there. Northern male cardinal, northern cardinal male on the platform feeder, house finch in the platform feeder, female purple finch on the back of the feeder. On the front of the feeder, we've got the American goldfinch, titmouse in and out again, chickadee on the cage feeder. Everybody's just busy. There's the white-crowned sparrow. There is an adult white-crowned sparrow, and you can see the prominent white lines in the crown, i.e., white-crowned sparrow. Beautiful bird. Beautiful. Love that guy. Clear-breasted, gray. But notice they're all feeding. They're all busy. Okay, it's 10:43. No relief in sight for this feeding station. I'm going to have to get out there and replenish the food. I love watching this video. If you like this video, leave a like. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're into this kind of thing. I'll do more. There you go. Those birds left. The downy woodpecker froze. It's just frozen. And it's not eating, and there are no birds on the platform feeder. It's 11:03. Keep that in mind. That downy woodpecker remained frozen for over 10 minutes. I knew something was up, and I found out what. I'm going to put a link in the description below if you want to check up on why that downy woodpecker froze. Hover your cursor in the upper right-hand corner of the video. There'll be a drop-down link. You can click into that video. We're going to find out what was up with that very natural, very telling behavior of the downy woodpecker. Thanks again for watching this video. As I was saying, if you'd like more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, ding the notification bell so you know when we upload more content like this. And I look forward to seeing you on future bird show videos. Right now, I've got to refill this feeder. Those birds have cleaned this thing out. So I've got the Wild Birds Unlimited, unsponsored. They didn't know I was going to say that. I just like their product. I'm using their pillar feeder. This is the winter mix. In the cup on the front of the platform feeder, those are the Sunfire chips. That's a sunflower, wholeless sunflower kernel heart infused with pepper to dissuade the mammals from eating the food. But the birds don't mind at all. They don't mind the smell. They don't feel the heat of the pepper. So that's why we use the pepper infused feed. I like to use the wholeless seed so there's no mess, no attraction of rodents, no bacteria growing under the feeder because everything's consumable. The birds eat all of it. And just it's as simple as that. I just top off the little bowls, put some seed in the tray below, and we're ready for more action. Thank you for checking out this bird show. This is episode number 1. We'll do some more in the future, and I hope to see you then.